High-speed rail may be a statewide project, but local politicians have played and are continuing to play a critical role in the debate, both for and against this project that has national implications. Congressman, then State Senator Jim Costa from Fresno, introduced the initial bond for high-speed rail in 2002. Assemblymember Kathleen Galgiani of Merced authored the $10 billion high-speed rail bond that was passed by the voters in 2008. Congressman Devin Nunes of Visalia has been a vocal critic of high-speed rail, calling it, quote, a high-speed train wreck, unquote. And Congressman Kevin McCarthy of Bakersfield, the House Majority Whip, has denounced high-speed rail, further clouding the political future of this ambitious project running through his own district. Critics say that the money is being misspent, that ridership studies are inflated, the route is being driven by politics, and the system will never be self-supporting. Proponents maintain that high-speed rail will reduce congestion on our freeways, airports, and freight rail lines, improve our air quality, reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and create tens of thousands of high-paying jobs throughout the state and particularly here in the Valley. We'll talk with key political and business leaders, as well as the author of a California Senate Commission study on the financial feasibility of high-speed rail, and see who is on board for high-speed rail in California.
From Fresno, the MADDY Report with Executive Director of the MADDY Institute, Mark KEPPLER.
Welcome. The first segment of California's high-speed rail project will be built here in the Valley, between Fresno and Bakersfield. Not surprisingly, folks differ on what high-speed rail system would mean for California and the Valley. Recently, we asked Mayor Ashley Swearingen of Fresno why she supports high-speed rail.
The promise of high-speed rail is so transformative for a city like Fresno that is really isolated from the other major metropolitan economies in California, and it's not served us well. So in order to bring access to Fresno, the rest of the state can get here easier, and Fresnans can get to the rest of the state easier. It just completely changes everything from an economic development standpoint, from a tourist standpoint. We're the only city in America that's situated right around 3 national parks, and yet it's very difficult to get here by any other means of transportation. So it changes everything for Fresno, and that's why I believe we have to approach high-speed rail with the attitude of let's find a way to make it work.
Well, Al Smith from the Fresno Chamber of Commerce has also written an op-ed piece in the Fresno Bee strongly supporting high-speed rail. That's not to say there isn't opposition. Some farmer groups, for example, have raised concerns about the project. We're joined by Julia Berry from the Madera County Farm Bureau. Welcome to the MADDY Report.
Thank you for having me.
So the Farm Bureau is opposed to high-speed rail in general, or some specifics? What are your concerns?
Well, we're concerned about the fact that the bond itself asked for the rail not to affect our community, our landowners, and we hope that the High-Speed Rail Authority will stick to the mandate in the bond that says that they are supposed to adhere to existing transportation corridors. And so we've been active in proposing corridors that we think are less impactful on our industry, and we've actually had some successes, and we've had some good experiences in working with the authority.
But let me understand this. You're not opposed to high-speed rail in general. It's
Correct.
the specifics of it.
That's right. It's the way it's being implemented. And I think there's a lot of frustration on behalf of landowners because there haven't been a lot of answers. I think the reason for that is because we are not experienced in California in doing this type of a transportation project, and so we're sort of learning as we go. And we've heard from the authority that they want us to tell them what we want as well as what we don't like, and that's what we've been doing. It's been a successful way to go.
Some of your concerns are, I guess, carving up some property, dividing up property, disrupting the work of agriculture. What are some specific concerns for agriculture?
Well, specifically, we do things differently in the Central Valley. You don't have a situation like you might find in the Midwest where you have one farmer living on a large piece of property and managing that particular property. You know, our industry is so diverse, and we have people who are in the business of servicing many different landowners. And so if there was an opportunity to keep the high-speed rail transportation system next to existing transportation corridors, you wouldn't be having to close roads like you would have to be if you were going in the rural areas.
So what I'm hearing you say is Route 99.
99 is what we like. That's right. The UP line is what we're in favor of, yes.
Okay. Now, is there another issue here possibly that high-speed rail could potentially drive down land prices?
Yes. In some areas it will be unavoidable because there have to be certain turns for the train to keep its speed. They have to be at a 3 to 5 mile radius, and so there will be times when you will have to sever a property. What we've been trying to do is to advocate for opportunities to decrease those problems. If you're a farmer that only owns, say, 100 acres or 80 acres and your property is severed, there's a possibility that you're rendering a property unfarmable and unprofitable because the bank will not loan you money. You're decreasing the efficiency. You have to get on either side of that line, and also, you have to be big enough in this competitive industry to make any money.
Okay, now the draft EIR is supposed to be released, I guess, in July.
Yes.
And public's going to have 45 days to comment. I assume you're going to be commenting on that.
Yes, and we've been commenting all along. We have many challenges. The property severance issue is one of them. Also the wind impacts, you know, especially where we're from in Madera and Fresno counties. We grow a lot of almonds and trees that need to be pollinated in order to produce a crop. And bees are very picky as far as wind speeds and temperature. And so we don't have any answers about what happens when a train comes through. You know, we could have decreased crop yields, and additionally, we do use chemicals in producing farm products, and so we need to hear from the state of California about how that's going to affect the regulations that we're subject to.
Thank you for expressing the ag concerns on this issue.
Yes.
One of the other concerns drawing a lot of attention is whether high-speed rail will be able to pay for itself. According to a recent report from the Institute of Transportation Studies at UC Berkeley, the ridership forecasts for high-speed rail are not reliable, deepening skepticism about its profitability. We'll talk with the lead author of that report when we come back. This is the MADDY Report.